Morning, morning, morning. Yes, Taxi Chronicles here. Just going to tell you a story, as I do. During the pandemic or the lockdown, where Boris was charging people £10,000 or fining people £10,000 if you were outside, which is a joke now, as we know, because of his parties, which is another subject, another discussion. All the people who live, let's say, tax-free and earn their money tax-free had to take Ubers to carry on living tax-free. So that meant the working girls, the drug dealers, all of those kind of people. And this is a story from one of those working girls. She's it's just her story. She told me it, and it's quite heartfelt. And it's interesting because it taught me about judging people. It taught me quite a bit. Basically, she said she's the youngest of five. And when she was born, her mum was from the Mediterranean. Her dad was either English or Irish. But they were living in Ireland, in some really rural place where it takes miles and miles just to get to your neighbour. And she was born and she was 2 weeks, and she had her 4 older sisters, who were all very young as well. I think nobody was over the age of 8 or something like that. And the dad said he's going into town to get some supplies, took the car, and he never came back. Now the mum, he's left the mum with a newborn baby, more or less, and 4 other siblings, 5 children. And she doesn't know what to do. She's waiting there. She's just hoping, as you would do, that it's not really happening. He's going to come back. Maybe it's an accident and something like that. But anyway, long story short, in this sense, the electricity ran out, which was running on a generator. The food ran out, and she had to take the newborn baby and one of the youngest and walk to the next miles in the cold to the next house, which was miles away. And then one thing led to another, and she managed to get all her children, and she had to leave that area because she couldn't earn money and raise 5 children. So they ended up living in East London. Now, I'm giving you that background story because when I asked the girl, why are you in this business? She didn't start with that. She started with one day she was looking at Nicki Minaj, and she decided she wanted to be a stripper. So she went to some bar. She got a fake ID. She went to some bar in London. I won't name bars because I don't know them. But she went to this bar, and there's a kind of madam there who said, yeah, get on the stage and dance. She danced as sexy as she could, and they said, you give her a job. Now, she was actually underage. But anyway, from there, she was happy making money, doing her thing, and one thing led to another, and then her friend invited her to come and meet some footballers, party with some footballers. I don't know if they're Premier League or anything like that, but she's meeting these footballers. So she's having a party, she's enjoying herself. She ended up in a room with one of them. They had some fun, as you do, and she's leaving. So when she's leaving, her friend said, how much did you get? She said, what are you talking about? She said, we slept with him, didn't you? He said, yeah. Well, go and get your money, girl. So she said, all right then. So I just went up there, and then she said she just walked in the room and said, hey, you forgot to pay me. I think he handed her like £1,000, something like that. And from that, it's all went uphill or downhill, wherever you see it. The reason I'm telling you this story is that I've spoken to many, many working girls in the job, also when I used to work on the ships and things like that. And all their stories have one thing in common. They either didn't know their father or knew their father too well. So I had my thoughts about her father. I'm really peed off with. I was cursing him when I heard that story. And even now I curse him in my mind. But I say to all the other men out there who have daughters, look after your girl children. Because if you don't, self-respect and all the things that we as fathers, I should say, teach our girl children about self-worth, means that they can end up doing things that, as fathers, you wouldn't want your daughter to do. You can, by all means, put your opinions in the comments section. I'm just speaking on that story and my personal experience and having many conversations. But my main message here is look after your girl children, fathers. And for those feminists who say, no, she's just doing what she wants to do and expressing herself sexually, like I said, when I've had many conversations, and those same women who tell me that, when I ask them, would you want your daughter to do that or would you do that? They always refer and say, no, well, it's just not for me. So if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. But anyway, Taxi Chronicles we publish every day, or by all means tune in, like, subscribe, and have a nice day.